Hello and welcome to the Eamon on Track episode show, episode 16. Today I have brought on my guest,
Jeff.
Yeah, there. Okay. All right.
Hey.
And we are here to talk about what is one of the most popular albums, basically ever, Fleetwood Mac's Rumours. Yes. So, the main reason I wanted to talk about this album, as one I suggested when we were talking, is that it's just very popular, and I think it's a very interesting album to talk about. I feel like this album, it's almost mythical in a sense. The story, the band and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 5 members.
5 members.
One of them's Mick Fleetwood, who the band's named after.
Yep.
But the other 4 members are 2 couples at the time, but they were breaking up.
They were both breaking up. Yep.
Yeah. So and that was John McVie and Christine McVie, which here, and then you have Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, who were also breaking up at the time. So yeah, and all the songs kind of have like a breakup kind of vibe to them. A lot of pain, but a lot of love, and the music really all kind of came together for them at that time. And Fleetwood Mac wasn't the original lineup. It was they were kind of like a blues band in London during the late 60s with Mick Fleetwood.
That's a weird thing too, is that they're very bluesy. I've listened to their first album, and starting with they actually had a second self-titled, which was the album before this, and that was when they kind of reinvented themselves, from what I understand.
Well, that's when they brought Lindsey and Stevie in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, more of a
there's
pop
like a famous
band.
story of Mick Fleetwood like meeting Lindsey Buckingham at Sound City. Have you ever seen that documentary before, Eamon?
No, I haven't.
You should check it out. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Sound City.
Interesting.
It's about a recording studio like in LA where like lots of bands recorded, like Tom Petty and like Lindsey and Stevie Nicks recorded their duo album before Fleetwood Mac there. Okay. They love Rick Springfield. There's lots of different like acts that recorded their new young. So that's where Mick Fleetwood met Lindsey Buckingham, and he needed a guitar player for Fleetwood Mac at the time. And he said, well, I'm not coming unless Stevie's coming. And that's kind of how the band formed this iteration. Yeah.
To be fair, we're going to talk about this later, but I think that was a great decision to have them bring Stevie Nicks on.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, it worked out for them, yeah.
Now, let's talk about this cover, this weird cover. This is like... this is not a cover you would think would be exactly marketable, I feel like.
Yeah, it's kind of... Okay, so he's holding a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Right? And in the crystal ball is their first album.
Oh, okay.
You ever noticed that before? Yeah, it's
the
image of their first
very
album.
Hard to see.
Yeah. And then I don't know why it's... I mean, I've never looked it up, like why Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks on the cover. I don't know why they're doing this like ballet thing or whatever they're doing. Why he's standing on that little stool. I don't know
why he has these testicles attached to his pants.
Right. The balls are. We should look it up.
From what I understand, that's a great idea. But from what I understand, he basically just found them somewhere, and he was literally like, he was literally like, I want to use this, if I remember correctly.
The balls or whatever? Let's see here. I'm trying to find the artwork here. No, not there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Promotion. I don't see much here with the album cover. It's a good question though. Like, why?
Yeah, I might as well show the back.
Anyway,
wow, we're here because I really like the picture.
Here we go. There, I found it. So the cover art sees singer Stevie Nicks parade in dark robes as she holds hands with drummer Mick Fleetwood, who, for some unknown reason, is resting his foot on a stool and displays 2 wooden balls falling down between his legs. The cover is extremely confusing and deliberately so. The whole situation that the band found themselves in at this point was equally bizarre. The question remains, what does it all mean? It undoubtedly is one of the strangest album covers of its era. It's not all, if not all time. The photographer who was behind the masterpiece was Herbert Worthington. And the creation, which would go down as being his most famous work by some margin, Worthington will provide the concept, inspiration, and even brought along with him the footstool that featured on the cover. As the crystal ball that music is grasping onto an object of which is intrinsically linked with the band so heavily, even 40 years later. It's an invitation into the world of Fleetwood Mac, and the crystal ball was the perfect embodiment of everything that was going on with the band at that time.
Interesting.
It's kind of weird though. Like it's only 2 of them on the not all 3, all 5. You know, like
to be fair, that's the case with Fleetwood Mac too. Like they're self-titled. There are only 2 of them on that album too.
Yeah, it's like
it's Mick Fleetwood and I believe. I forget. I actually don't know who the other one is, but it's one of the other 2 guys. I just love this back cover, by the way. You got over here. He looks like Rasputin, almost. I don't know. That always made me laugh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah,
it's John on their first album. It's John McVie that's on the album cover. I don't know who's with him. It's but yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I think it's about time we get into this album.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's talk about the opener, Secondhand News. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this is a song I would have picked for an opener on this album.
Yeah, it's I like it, but it's it's an acoustic like kind of melancholic, repetitive. It's really good. I mean, I really like it, but it's
something I think this album nails down very well is rhythm.
Oh yeah, the rhythm is amazing.
The syncopation.
Well, yeah, you have kind of like I think what made Fleetwood Mac so good is you have Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks that were like this duo that were coming into their own, and then you had like this other band that was like a blues band that was like a really good backing rhythm band that basically needed 2 frontmen.
And Stevie Nicks,
and that's and Lindsey came, and they also had Christine. So like they basically, all of a sudden, it's like the band, like they're very similar. Where like boom, now you have 3 singers, and then you have that you can do a lot with 3 singers and a lot of ideas. You can make a lot of good music, and that's kind of why I think Fleetwood Mac was successful.
Although to be fair, Fleetwood Mac, the writers wrote their own songs. I'm pretty sure, like most of their songs. I'm pretty sure.
Well, what do you mean? Like
the band?
Like,
well, with the band,
like
Robbie wrote the songs, right?
The songs?
He didn't sing anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
No. But that wasn't, like the Beatles were like that too. Like they sung their own songs they wrote or whatever. But that's even kind of better that Robbie was able to do that. More power to him.
No, for sure.
That's not exactly
I just think it's
easy.
interesting. There's nothing wrong with having someone else write a song for you, but something I appreciate about the songs on this album is that because they wrote their own songs and because of the stress they had at the time,
right?
These lyrics feel very personal.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think they're all kind of digs and jazz, and they always, it seemed like they were all trying to like one up each other with with the next song, and I think that's probably what made it good.
That's kind of the insane thing about this album is that usually when when a band is like feuding like this, they implode, right? But this is the one of the
they
few
did
times.
kind of implode right after you have to consider this. It's like one of the most top selling albums of all time, and they basically broke up for like 4 or 5 years. Like,
did Tusk
it's
not
pretty
come out
insane.
soon after this?
What's that? Which one?
Oh no, yeah,
Tusk. I think Tusk came out in.
it
I think it came out in like 1980. Okay, and then they
79.
didn't do another one until Tango and the Night, I think, which I think was much later in the 80s. You know, like, well, usually, like, for instance, when Pink Floyd came out with Dark Side, they made like 4 more albums before like the 80. That was 73. But I think you get my point. Like, you usually when you have the top selling album ever, you usually bust out a bunch more albums after that.
They didn't really
Fleetwood Mac didn't really do that. No,
that's fair.
Yeah, like they.
I
mean, like
what
every
I
song
meant is
on
that
Rumours is a #1 hit, and I think maybe they had 1 or 2 more hits after Rumours. So it's pretty incredible.
No, that's fair. More what I meant was that usually when they're feuding like this, it results in a terrible album. But I feel like this is a rare exception where the anger and the emotions that everyone had kind of created a better album, and part of why people love this album so much.
Yeah, well, I think the thing about this album is that it's the intrigue of like what was going on and what do they mean in that lyric, and that's kind of what secondhand news. That's kind of why it starts the album, because it's all like, what's secondhand news? It's like learning something secondhand, right? And that's what Rumours are, like like that's kind of like this song almost could be called Rumours. It's the same.
Although I will point out that this song does not always start the album out.
What do you mean? When does it not?
Just a second. I have to reload the page. It was listed here. Yeah, some cassettes switch the position of this song, and I Don't Want to Know.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't consider this, a cassette. I mean, okay.
I know, it's just interesting that they made that change. But it doesn't make it nearly as good.
They also took off, I think, the best song on the album. They didn't even put it on the album. It's on the CD, and I think it might have been on the cassette, like you're saying, but it wasn't on the vinyl.
Yeah, we'll talk about Silver Springs.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think this is a good intro track for sure.
It kind of sets the tone of the album.
It very much just so, and that's what I think is very important about an opening track. It needs to tell the listener, both audio wise and theme wise, what the rest of the album is going to be about.
Yeah, and it's a Lindsey Buckingham song, and it kind of like, I'm glad they separated it's this one and Never Going Back Again with Dreams, right? So it's kind of like Lindsey, Stevie, Lindsey, and then we kind of get into like a couple of hits, and then we go into a Christine song, and like that's kind of how they balanced it well.
They balanced this album very well. Anyways, let's talk about Dreams, because I think this is one of the best sounding songs ever made.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a sick bass line. It's super groovy.
Yeah, sick bass line, great guitar, and I'm gonna say it. Stevie Nicks is maybe the best, at least one of the best female voices in all of music.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't like her, but I don't know. I don't understand that take, but
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, some people just don't like her or whatever, but like, yeah, no, she's definitely a cool chick. Definitely a great song.
Very moody album, or sorry, very moody song, very atmospheric. Kind of about how, the narrator feels like men kind of go on flings with women, doesn't really take the relationship seriously, and just kind of like women will come and go, you know.
Yeah. So have you ever heard like the story of like how she wrote this song and stuff? If you go,
No.
basically, she says, this is her quote. She says, "One day when I wasn't required to be in the main studio, she took a Fender Rhodes piano and went into another studio that was being used by the Sly Stone and the Family Stone. It was a black and red room with a sunken pit in the middle where there was a piano and a big black velvet bed with Victorian drapes. I sat down on the bed with my keyboard in front of me. I found a drum pattern, which my little cassette player put on, and wrote Dreams in about 10 minutes. Right away, I liked the fact that I was doing something with a dance beat because that made it a little unusual for me." She then said she played this song for the rest of the group, and they said they weren't nuts about it, but I said, please record this song, at least try it, because the way I play things sometimes you really have to listen. The band recorded it the following day, only on a basic track. And that's the thing about this song. It's like, it's not that good of a song, like just bare bones, but once you start putting all of those layers on it with the bass and the guitar, like you were saying,
very much a layered song. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like all the layers make the song. Without that, like it's kind of just like thunder only happen, like it's just like whatever.
It's
But
definitely very much enhanced by the other instruments.
It's all mood and setting, and it's almost like a wave. This song. That's kind of what
I always think of
the wave.
I always think of this song as being a song to listen to while it's raining. I mean, I guess because of the lyrics, right? But I also just feel like the actual music itself very much enhances that.
He said, all right, so the producer said, it's funny, but when people talk about the rhythm section of Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, and they point to this one song, I'm always amused that they're actually talking about a drum loop. The electric guitars were sent through 4 different signals: a direct signal, a mic signal, a signal running from the output of the amp head, and another direct signal from a volume pedal. These 3 signals were then panned in stereo, which in producer Richard Dashett's estimation allowed for the guitars to move across the left and right channels in a very majestic way. So that's probably why it has that very unique sound to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It sounds like nothing else.
Yeah, it stands out. There's no doubt about that, especially for like that time, 1977. It really has a great groove to it, and
it does.
That's what like John
yeah. Go ahead. So I just think that this album kind of grooves with you, or at least in general.
Yeah. There's the thing about this album is there's no bad songs. All the songs are bangers.
No.
You know, I like every single song.
Oh,
I just wish Silver Springs was on it.
It was on the actual album.
Yeah, it's my only complaint. It is on some of the albums. It is on some of the pressings.
Yeah.
But it's not on all the pressings. Yes.
Yeah.
Usually on reissues. Yeah. It's usually it's kind of like, how many songs are on this? I think there's 11 songs. 11. It's kind of like it's the 12th song. It should have been on side 2. But it was too long, and that was the thing with it. Stevie Nicks did not want to shorten it,
right?
Because the song is 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
Yeah, it's the longest song on the album, I think.
It would have been if it had been pressed onto the main album,
right? Anyways, let's go to Never Going Back Again. So we get back to another Lindsey Buckingham song here. And
see, I kind of wish they put this on side 2. My personal opinion. I think they should maybe have swapped this one with Oh Daddy. But that's just me.
That's interesting. I can kind of see that, but then you have well, because I guess because Oh Daddy's
it's only a 2-minute song, so I get Oh Daddy's 4 minutes long, so I kind of see why they did it, but all the longer songs are on side 2.
On side 2, yeah.
Other than Dreams. Dreams is the longest song. Other than
always interested in the song here. It doesn't even sound like a guitar. It almost sounds like a mandolin.
I'm Never Going Back Again. Yeah, I think it's a 12-string. Have you ever seen him play it? It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it sounds really nice.
Yeah, if you ever see him play it, like it looks like it took a long time to learn.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It sounds like it took a long time to learn.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely a great song.
I definitely think, like you said, no bad songs on this album, but this is one of the songs that just doesn't grab me as much, personally.
Yeah, I mean, if you love like acoustic guitar, this is your song, you know?
Yeah. All right. Now we get to Don't Stop. This is the beginning of our, depending on the region you live in, 6 singles. There are more singles on this album than not.
Yeah. So what are the singles? Dreams, Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way, I Don't Want to Know, and You Make Loving Fun. Am I missing
Go Your
one?
Own Way, Dreams, Don't Stop, Chain, You Make Loving Fun, and Oh Daddy.
Oh Daddy. See, like, yeah. I don't know why Oh Daddy would be a single personally, but
no, I don't. Yeah.
It's not my probably Oh Daddy's probably my least favorite one. I wish they put Silver Springs on instead of Oh Daddy, but it's me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway,
Don't Stop. This is kind of one of the more poppy songs on the album.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's probably a great song, the most. Though. It's the most radio friendly for sure.
Right? You say that, but I'd almost argue Going Your Own Way is more radio friendly.
Do you think so? Wow.
It's debatable, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely debatable. Yeah.
But I mean, it's still a really good song.
Yeah, they're very similar. Don't Stop and Go Your Own Way.
Yeah, they're very similar, but very. I mean, I guess that's why they're put together. They're almost act as sister songs. Yeah,
they're kind of like Abbey Road, where it's almost like a medley.
Yeah,
you know. They're very like it's almost like they're in like the same key or something. Like they're very similar sounding and kind of like beats, and you kind of bob your head the same way.
Yeah,
I mix them up a lot. Don't Stop and Go Your Own Way.
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah.
So
this is
it'll be here better than before. Yesterday's gone, right? I don't know. I always thought Don't Stop was Buckingham. But
really, I always thought it was Buckingham too. Is it not?
But it's Christine. Well, Christine does the lead vocals apparently, with Buckingham also helping. I don't know.
It sounds like
she does the chorus. That's right. She does the chorus.
Oh,
and he does all like the verse stuff.
Oh, sorry. We're talking about Go Your Own Way now.
I was just talking about Don't Stop.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Don't Stop. Christine McVie
does I couldn't tell. It definitely sounded like Buckingham.
Yeah, but Buckingham does all the "You'll be here, never done before." Like that's all Buckingham.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think we should talk about Go Your Own Way too now. So oh, sorry. Did you have something else to say about Don't Stop?
Not really.
Okay.
It's good beat.
Sorry. Yeah.
Head bobbing. Good song.
Yeah. That's how I feel about this song too. This song gets me motivated in a sense. I know. I think this is a good song to just throw on whenever I'm doing whatever.
Well, it's a good breakup song again, right? Like it's like you go your own way, you can go your own way, right? Like it's basically like, all right, get out of my life, whatever you want to do. See ya. Yeah, like that's basically.
They kind of had this. Yeah. It's also about this kind of back and forth thing they had going on, if I understand correctly.
So she says, when Nix heard this song, she demanded that Buckingham remove the line, "Packing up, shacking up is all you want to do." But he ultimately kept the lyrics. Nix later explained her feelings about the line. I very much resented him telling the world that packing up, shacking up with different men was all I wanted to do. She told Rolling Stone. He knew it wasn't true. It was just an angry thing that he said. Every time those words would come on stage, I wanted to go over and kill him. He knew it. So he really pushed my buttons through that. It was like, I'll make you suffer for leaving me. And I did.
Sounds lovely.
That's the type of stuff that was going
on. I mean, yeah, it's a really good song about the breakup.
I like Don't Stop better.
I don't know. It's hard to say
but
much about these two songs compared to the others. They're definitely less complex.
Yes, they're a lot more poppy, a lot more like again radio friendly.
This is a very poppy album, to be fair.
It is.
Yeah. But now we go to Songbird, and this closes side one of the album. I think that this is a really good song. There's just this little kind of quiet, humble piano ballad.
Songbird, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's the one song that's not like any of the other songs on the album for me.
Pretty much,
it's really gorgeous, really beautiful. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like as you feel like you're like sitting in the room with her, like the way they recorded it in like an empty auditorium, and it was so it's like
song.
And it has that vibe to it, like you're, it's great.
Yeah, it's yeah, this is the song that I feel like when I listened to this song for the first time, or this album front to back for the first time, this was the song on the album that really shocked me. Like,
Why?
Like, wow,
this is
really good. Oh, just in a good way. Like, wow, this is surprisingly
unexpected.
Like,
you mean almost? Yeah.
I think this is a good ender for side one too.
Yeah, it is. It's also like the first side of the album seems to be all about Lindsay and Stevie, right? But there's also what was going on with Christine and John at the time too, so
is that more the backside of the album, you think?
Yeah, there's more of it on the backside of the album. Like Oh Daddy, like what The Chain, and like some of those songs like where Christine's more involved. You have like a different vibe, like and it's more, like it's a little bit old energy, because they're a little older than Stevie and Lindsay, right? So
right, I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
not much. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, like they're like 5 years older, 4 or 5 years older.
Yeah, Christine McVie is dead now, isn't she?
Yes, she died. But like, yeah. So actually, Stevie's very similar age to Mick Fleetwood. I didn't realize that, but Christine is older by about 5 years, and then John McVie, he's a 45. So yeah, he's like 3 years older. So actually, I was wrong. I thought they were a little bit older.
He's not as old as you think.
Pretty contemporary.
Hello.
Oh my God, we're on Eamon's podcast.
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Oh, we're talking about
Rumours.
Rumours, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah,
There was a rumor that you were doing a podcast, and we thought we'd have to crash it.
we just decided to crash it because we thought that'd be funny.
Because you guys are assholes about it.
Right?
Why?
Because I was just trying to make it be jokey about it, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, we just thought we'd say hi.
Jameel's
gonna come by though.
Yeah,
Jody, you can go your own way.
I will go my own way. I always have, and I always will.
Yeah, that sounds.
I might even grab some cranberry juice, hop on a skateboard, and call it a day.
Look, Jody, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Don't want to know what.
I don't want to see you in my dreams.
Oh,
I'm never going back again.
Never, ever going back again.
Don't tell me any
You haven't caught on. These are all names of tracks on the album.
Of course.
Right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, Just saying hi.
Nice seeing you too.
Yeah. Hope to be on this again sometime soon.
Yes, I'll have you on for an April Fool's episode. I think we were talking about.
Well, a fool for a fool makes perfect sense. All right.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys later.
I'm not going to stay too long either, although I will say I think Fleetwood Mac was one of Mom's favorites, right, Jeff? I don't know if Rumours specifically was, but she always went on about Fleetwood Mac, and she was cooler than Dad because she liked real rock and roll.
I wouldn't call Fleetwood Mac real rock and roll.
You wouldn't call it real rock and roll?
It's like soft rock. It's not
compared to what Chief listens to, though.
It was real rock and roll in the 70s.
That's fair. Chief wouldn't listen to it if it's not country.
Back in those days, Chief wasn't listening to much country. He was listening to more like I don't know, Neil
Kenny
Diamond.
Rogers.
I feel like that's what
Neil Diamond.
REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, he loved REO.
REO, maybe Queen.
Queen?
Yeah.
Dad was like Adam Sandler and Billy Madison when he shows up to high school and he's got the REO Speedwagon shirt on and he's pretending to be cool.
Right. Like, look at this. And he like leans against the car in that.
Yeah.
But yeah. I am a fan. Okay, I'll let you guys get back to your stuff. But
all right, excellent.
Good stuff. Chris Murphy likes this too. He says fantastic album. Top album 5 all time. So
yeah, maybe I should go Chris Murphy for the album.
See it.
Yep, see it. It's so back to Songbird. It's just a nice piano ballad. I don't really know how to describe it other than honestly,
well, it's like kind of it's like a
makes me
soft
feel like I'm sitting in front of Christine McVie playing this.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of like you feel like you're in like this, which it was recorded in a big auditorium, and you feel like you're sitting there watching her alone in this auditorium. And the way they recorded it was very clever, because it gives it like again that ambiance. What they did was they placed 15 different microphones around the whole auditorium to capture all the different like acoustics of the auditorium. And
that would explain why it's so huge.
Yeah, so it went into the next morning due to the difficulty of recording the song live in one take. Lindsey Buckingham strummed an acoustic guitar off stage to keep the tempo, just to help Christine out, basically. And so like they recorded this like it says March 3rd, 1976. So they know like literally the exact day it was recorded. And it was like when she got to this auditorium, what they did was they placed like flowers all over her piano and shot 3 lights onto the flowers so that when she like sat at the piano, she would be looking at the flowers while she sang the song, basically. So it kind of makes you think of that. So it's nice.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think visuals affects the way not only you hear music, but also the way you play it. And so yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we should move on to The Chain, which starts side 2 and genuinely is just amazing.
Chain's cool.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album.
I love the bass.
The bass is really good. The guitar is really good. I like how it's slow. It's kind of building up. It's almost like their rage, like their anger at one another. I feel like this is the only song on the that Fleetwood Mac ever that all 5 members of the band wrote, which is interesting. And I think that shows because they kind of pulled together to make this work. But it starts with a slow build of tension, and it kind of starts getting bigger and bigger as the verses go by, and then it kind of all releases in that solo at the end. And I think it's a pretty good way of just describing the frustration that everyone feels personally.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about this song is that basically it's like it's a bunch of different pieces of different things that were put together. So basically, like that rhythm part at the beginning with the bass is John and McVie, and McFleetwood came up with that. But then the original idea of the song was a Buckingham Nicks song called Lola, My Love. But then also there were elements that Christine McVie had from an earlier project called Keep Me There that were used. So that literally, that's why it's credited to all 5 of them, because they used elements from like, all those different areas and put them into one song, basically. Which is pretty cool considering like that's not usually how songs are written. Yeah,
I could think of anyway. Like that makes me think of like Green Day on American Idiot. They also did a very similar thing, and that's why certain songs on that album somehow kind of like switch tempos and emotional states mid song and are still somehow fit together. Like it's interesting.
If you can make it work, if it all just kind of flows, and like that's kind of what the chain does, right? Like that rhythm really helps. You're right. Like I would say if there's one thing that makes this album go around, it's the rhythm and the bass,
the rhythm,
the drums, and
it's the bass and the drums.
For sure.
Yeah, it's the heartbeat of this album for sure. Which, speaking of which, shows up even more so with "You Make Loving Fun." Which this is pretty much straight up a disco song, I feel like.
Yeah, it's awesome, eh?
Yeah,
I love You Making Them Fun. It's probably my like most listenable song on the album. I really like.
Yeah,
I always like listening to this one.
Again,
the bass is amazing.
Yeah,
like if you like bass, this album is like a can't miss. Bass and good vocals.
Yeah, I just really attached to this. Is a McVie song, I believe. Yes, the McVie. Yeah, I really attached to her vocals on this song. She just there's an earnestness to it and a wholesomeness to it that really connects, I think.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I'm just reading a bit about it. So You Make Loving Fun was a concert staple for Fleetwood Mac and was played during every tour that included Christine McVie from 1976 until 1997, a year before McVie's departure from the band. However, the song was revived later in 14-15. As for the recording of it, she wanted this song to be the 3rd single, but they chose Don't Stop instead. So she liked that more than Don't Stop.
That makes more sense, honestly, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Although it was a single, so she did at least get her wish.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
They're both good.
They're both really good, and it just the rhythm and the earnestness of this song, I think, make it very pleasant to listen to in general. But let's go to is Oh Daddy the next song on the album? Sorry, I have this mixed up. No, it's I Don't Want to Know. This is an interesting one.
I Don't Want to Know is amazing. I really like the acoustic guitar and the like. It's the only like, true. It's the only true duet too, like really on this album. Which, I don't really know how they didn't do more. Like with I guess they all hated each other, so they went into the studio individually a lot more. But, the I Don't Want to Know is such a great track. Like because you get both voices and the harmonies. You can feel the emotion in the song too.
I really like these songs.
Like she says,
I have to admit that I think I just don't prefer the acoustic songs on this album as much.
So it says here, speaking of Silver Springs, so the other band members of Fleetwood Mac decided to use the song as a replacement for Silver Springs. When they found out that Silver Springs would not fit on the album, the other 4 members made a recording of the song without Nicks late in the Rumours recording sessions. Buckingham was able to sing Nicks's lead vocal on this version as well as the harmony vocals because he knew the song from their Buckingham Nicks days. Drummer Mick Fleetwood then broke the news to Nicks that they decided that they needed to replace Silver Springs with I Don't Want to Know. and wanted her to re-record her vocal parts over the one Buckingham recorded for the song. At first, Nix was angry and did not want to cooperate with the recording, but ultimately she relented, unhappy with the prospect of having 2 songwriting credits on the album. Only 2 songwriting credits.
Only 2 songs. Yeah, because
Nix later
and Dreams. Yeah.
Nix later remarked that if Silver Springs had to be replaced, she was glad that I Don't Want to Know was used since she likes the recording, noting the Everly Brothers like harmonies in her vocals with Buckingham. So again, another instance where Fleetwood Mac really liked Silver Springs a lot better than I Don't
It's
Wanna
just
Know,
it was an unfortunate that they couldn't get it on there.
Well, like I don't understand why Gold Dust Woman needed to be on there instead of Silver Springs. So, like, but whatever, you know. Like,
anyways, let's move on to Oh Daddy. Yeah.
Oh Daddy's got that like slow pace, right?
Yep. I don't know. I don't really like this one. It's not even like the other ones where I just don't like it as much. Something about this song is off-putting to me.
I don't like it. It puts me to sleep, this song. I don't like it. It's my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
I don't really think it should be on there, you know, but that's just me, you know.
It's just kind of boring. It doesn't really work with the rest of the album.
Yeah, it's not for me, you know. It's
No,
just
me either.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's fine.
People
there was
like
never an
really
it's fine to be an it's fine. This would be the most it's fine that ever it's fine.
Should have been called It's Fine, Daddy.
That name is creepy too, by the way. I hate that name.
Yeah,
Oh Daddy.
Weird.
Yeah, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Like, what is this song? Okay, at the time, Fleetwood was the only father in the band with 2 daughters. However, both Lindsey Buckingham's former girlfriend Carol and Harris and Stevie Nicks' biographer Zoe Howe have written that the song was originally written for the band's lighting director, who McVie had been dating at the time. Both Harris and Howe contend McVie only later claimed that that the song was written for Fleetwood. You know, so okay.
Interesting.
Again, it's kind of like why it's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't really get it. I don't.
Let's move on to Gold Dust Woman. I think you're underrating this song a little bit. It is a really good Christine McVie song. Or sorry, this is
Gold was it's Stevie Nicks, yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. I just don't think it's anywhere in the same class as Silver Springs. But it's different. That's why it got on the album. It's like Silver Springs sounds a lot like, you know, a Dreams, and like it has a lot of the same vibe. So I think that's why they chose this song.
This is a very classic Nicks song, and honestly, I think it's a pretty good way to end out the album.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the album kind of with Oh Daddy and Gold Dust Woman does not end strong. That's how I feel. Like all the great tracks, you're by the time you get to these, you're like, well, I just want to go back and listen to all the other ones. You know what I mean? Like
I feel that way with Oh Daddy, not so much with this one. I think this one is really good, is pretty good, and it can work.
It is good. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I don't think it should be the last song on the album with all these bangers.
Yeah,
you know, it's just me. Especially the song is so long. That's probably why they put it there, though, because like they don't. They're like,
but the back half of the album is already a lot longer than the front half.
Yeah. So we
I don't
got
know.
4, 8, and then it's like 12.
Do you want to talk about Silver Springs already, since you seem very eager about it?
Yeah, it's the best song.
It's pretty amazing, to be fair. It's one of Stevie Nicks' best songs.
Said, I wrote Silver Springs about Lindsay. We were in Maryland somewhere, driving under a freeway sign that said Silver Springs, Maryland, and I loved the name. Silver Springs sounded like a pretty fabulous place to me, and you could be my Silver Springs. That's just a whole symbolic thing of what you could have been to me. I don't know. I just love the harmonies. I love the way the song flows. I love how like it does need to be that long. I understand why she fought for that. Like that's because it is such a again, it's another one like Dreams that just sets a mood, and like you don't want to leave that, like exactly what you said, like You Could Be My Silver Spring. It puts you in that mood, and you just want to go on that ride. I just love this track. I could, it's for me, it's the best track that they did during these sessions, and it didn't get on the album. It's ridiculous to me. It makes me mad. I'm sure it made her mad.
Well, she said it made her mad, right? During I Don't Want to Know.
Yeah. And I Don't Want to Know is a good song, but I don't think it's, I still think I Don't Want to Know should have been on the album, but I just don't. Maybe Oh Daddy.
I think I think I agree with you though that Oh Daddy should have been taken off.
Yeah, that should have been the one, But
anyway,
because they already had Songbird, they didn't need another slow droll song, like they already had the beautiful Songbird on there. I don't know.
I can see what you mean.
I didn't make the album. It sold. It made millions of dollars. So obviously I'm wrong. But it's just the way I look at it.
Anyways, let's go for a favorite, least favorite track. So I'll go for favorite first. I think I'm gonna go with The Chain. It's a very iconic song for a reason. I don't know. It's special. It's a song that to me that's very special. There's not really a song I know that sounds quite like it.
Yeah. The Chain's great. Like it's not the one I expected you to pick, but I'm not surprised that you did because the bass is so good and it just like it picks up at the voices. And it builds up and it's really good. So I get why you picked it. I'd go Silver Springs. I mean,
I'm not, but you can't say Silver Springs because it's not on the original release on the album.
Okay. Then I would say You Make Loving Fun would be my favorite.
Yeah, that's a respectable decision too. That was one of the ones I was debating on.
Yeah, again, another song with the bass where it's just like amazing. Like so, can't beat it. Those are like the two ones I listen to the most on this album is You Make It Loving Fun and Silver Springs. Yeah. They're just like they're my two favorites. I kind of go back and forth because you Make Living Fun's more like the upbeat one.
Yeah,
everyone's heard "Don't Stop and Go Your Own Way" a bajillion times.
That's fair. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, but, it's a Dreams as well as I really like Dreams and I could listen to it over and over and over. It's really good. It's just like again, you get fatigue. You just get like, all right, I want to listen to a different one.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I think we both agree that "Oh Daddy" was the worst song on the album.
Yeah, I would say so. It's "Oh Daddy" or "Gold Dust Woman" for me. I will agree though. "Oh Daddy," yeah, it's the one I would skip the most for sure. I'd much rather listen to "Gold Dust Woman" than "Oh Daddy."
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ranking time. As for musically, I'm giving this a 8 out of 10. It's got some really great songs on there. There are just a couple songs, especially near the end, that kind of hold it down from like a 9 or a 10 for me.
So wait, so there's how many songs are on the album?
11 said?
And 2 of them aren't very good.
Yeah,
I would say. I don't like them. I wouldn't say they're not very good, but I just don't like them. So I would give it like an 8.5.
Okay.
Perfect score for like 8 of them, and then like a half point for the others.
Yeah, that's respectable.
2 to 3, type thing.
I'll give lyrics also an 8. They're very personal and very good. Just very solid in general.
I can give the lyrics like a 7. I don't think some of the Stevie stuff is amazing. They're good, but they're love songs. They're breakup love songs.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Pacing, I'm probably gonna give like a 7. It's a quick pace, but there are definitely some changes I would have made to the pacing.
Yeah, the pacing's like a 9 for me. I just don't like the way they ended the album.
That's fair. Visually, I mean, I think I'm gonna give it a 9. It's one of the most iconic album covers of all time, and for a good reason.
Yeah, visuals 9. I agree with you. 9 is a good score. You know it right away when you see it.
Yeah. Production, I'm gonna have to give it 10. It's recorded beautifully. Everything's mixed amazingly.
Yeah, 9.5.
That's understandable. Why 9.5?
I just would. I don't think it's a perfect album. It's good. It's a great album, but perfect, no.
No, I definitely agree with that. I can't seem to get the auto score for individuals to be working or our total. So that's kind of annoying. Here we go. An average is an 8.4 for me. Or yours is an 8.6.
All right, solid.
Solid for a solid album. Yeah. All right. Now, before we go, we have to tell you that we are part of a united federation of podcasts. So we have a bunch of shows, including Hold Up.
Tell me more.
Yes. Hold Up with Chris Murphy and Davan Skelhorn. Talk about movies from before and after the year 2000 and whether they hold up or not. We got the Super Mader Brothers podcast. I assume that's going good.
Yes, we're starting Survivor on Wednesday. Check it out.
Well, that's good. We got Trivial Debates. I think the last time they did was the MCU themed episode. Dad won that, unsurprisingly. It's a pretty big fan of that sort of stuff.
Right. Yep.
Let's see here. What else? Tomorrow we have. I don't have an image for it, but we have the Live Long and podcast. We are doing a recording for X-Rated and X-Men podcast of a script that was originally going to get turned into a movie that never got made. We're going to be doing voice acting for it. I'm playing Avalanche. Come by and come watch it. It should be a fun time. And we also got Hellbound with Alex Blackburnn and Michael Chang. Talk about horror. That's a really fun one too. The really good production values on that one.
Yep.
With that, I think that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have been Eamon Mader, and with my guest,
Jeff Mader.
Yeah. We will see you later.
All right. Get back on track.